Greetings, everyone. Welcome back, or welcome if it's your first video. Today, we are going to learn about National Geographic Lindblad Expeditions. I am joined by Daryl Wyatt, who is the Regional Sales Director with National Geographic Lindblad Expeditions, and he is here today to share with us everything that has to do with expedition cruising and where they travel. And you're going to be blown away by some of the amazing itineraries and destinations that they offer. So, Daryl, take it away. Let's hear what you have.
Thank you, Emma. I appreciate it. I'm really excited to be here. First off, just to kind of share our focus with National Geographic Lindblad Expeditions is to really provide you with an up close and intimate perspective of the destination. And we believe that how you see it is what truly matters. And so being able to provide you access with some amazing ships and expedition guides really makes a huge difference when you're traveling to many of the remote destinations that we tend to travel to. And so, as you can see, we do travel across 6 continents. We've got more than 100 different itineraries throughout the year. And so, there's so many opportunities for guests to want to continue to travel with National Geographic Lindblad Expeditions. As far as like when we are in some of these destinations, typically we are going to be in those destinations kind of at the peak time to travel. However, Galapagos, as well as the Amazon, those are our only two year-round destinations. So you'll see in a couple slides that we highlight when some of those dates are, but truthfully, we're going to be in areas at the best time of year.
Amazing.
Close your eyes and imagine a place where nature writes the story. Where waves break on remote island beaches. Where wildlife isn't afraid. Where the trees are home to birds you've never seen before. Where whales breach the water's surface and dolphins leap into the air. Imagine yourself face to face with these wonders, with wild, unscripted magic. This isn't a documentary. This is your next great adventure. This is Expedition Cruising with National Geographic Lindblad Expeditions.
That's totally amazing. And I will say, I just got back from the Galapagos, and some of the videos, the wildlife that you showed, I saw, and without exaggeration, I was that close. So if people think that that is with a massive zoom lens, probably some of them are, but a lot of it is not. You can get that close to the tortoises, and we happened to be on a Zodiac boat, and there was 5 boats there, and we had a pod of dolphins, and we were swimming with the dolphins, and so we were right there, and it was absolutely spectacular. So yes, you can get that close.
I love that. Yeah, the testimonials there. Even though it's a marketing video, right? These are the types of things that you're going to have the opportunity to experience, day in and day out of your trips. And so for us, we're really excited because coming up next year, we're going to be celebrating 60
Nice.
years of experiences to Antarctica. And so that really began, back in the 50s with our founder's father, Lars Erik Lindblad, who had this passion for seeking out new experiences and bringing people to remote destinations. And so something he passed on to his son, and that legacy really began with those first voyages to Antarctica in 1966, and then the Galapagos in 1967, where we were the first ones to take private citizens to those regions. And even though we weren't the first ones to bring guests to the Arctic, Baja, or Alaska, we still have quite a history and have built an amazing level of experience traveling to these unique destinations. And for us, the relationship with National Geographic is incredibly important because our companies have very similar values where we want to focus on history, culture, educational aspects, photography. And this began in 2004, and we've now extended this relationship all the way through 2040 at least. So it's an amazing opportunity to really get out and see nature and let it unfold, kind of like the pages of National Geographic used to for many of us growing up. When it comes to who these trips are for, there's really no one size fits all. We cater, we have minimum ages allowed of 1 year old and have guests traveling with us into their 90s, even hundreds, because it's such an amazing opportunity. But getting people to travel together is what really makes this such an amazing experience. And we do cater to solo travel. When it comes to solos, we offer dedicated solo categories on 11 of the 12 ships that we own. These are typically going to be priced slightly higher than what you would have if you were sharing a double occupancy with somebody, but it's not the full 200%. Oftentimes the price could range anywhere from 115, 120% up to maybe 150%. But it's a really great opportunity for solos to be able to travel, feel included. We also do have the opportunity for like the shared rooms as well. So if you were looking to possibly share a room, if it was available, you could request that as a solo. But because of the size of the ships and the opportunities, solos really feel included, involved in everything. It's a really amazing opportunity to be able to travel as a solo with National Geographic Lindblad Expeditions. So why travel with us? What's really important on many of these voyages? I think first and foremost, it's our focus on responsible exploration. Since we are traveling to a number of unique, often vulnerable destinations, we want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to ensure their protection, their conservation, and allowing them to really kind of flourish so that we can continue to travel to these destinations for years to come. Beyond that, we also want to focus on giving back to those local communities. So we have a number of artisan programs. We are sourcing as much of our cuisine locally as local as possible. But we've got this great program we call the LexNG Fund. Since its inception in 2008, we've now raised more than $24 million. And all of the funds in this program are 100% guest donations. And so every dollar goes back into science and research initiatives. And we have information that we release each year. We call it an impact report. And so we share exactly what this program is doing and what other kind of charitable donations and contributions were being made towards the scientific community. Another amazing aspect of National Geographic Lindblad Expeditions is that we are the only expedition cruise line that has a dedicated family program that we call National Geographic Explorers in Training.
We know that young people learn best when there's a positive emotional experience while learning. I am a certified field educator and a naturalist for National Geographic and Lindblad Expeditions. My role on board is to take these young people and expose them to nature and wild places and allow them to come together as a group and develop observation, communication, collaboration, and problem solving, and then take that experience back home with them.
One came up right in front of me. I was blown away. It was the most incredible thing I've ever seen.
It was really special and I've never seen anything like it before.
With any luck, this could be the spark that ignites a love for nature that will last their entire life.
So when we look at this program, this specific opportunity is going to be in our 5 core regions. So we do it on every one of our Galapagos trips, Alaska and Baja, and then it is on most of our Antarctica and Iceland voyages. And so this was developed in conjunction with National Geographic Education. The minimum age on these ships, or the ships that we own, is 1 year old. So while the program probably isn't a great fit for 1 to 3 year olds. What it does allow is for families who do have young, toddlers, infants, to still be able to travel together and share these experiences. I often say somewhere around 5, 6 is usually a good starting point for kids in the program, but a lot of it will depend on the family that's traveling. I have met several young explorers who are better traveled than I am, and they're 6 years old. So a lot of
Right.
times you get those great kind of kids on board. And one of their favorite aspects of this program, besides the educational features, we do let them drive the Zodiacs, and we'll even give them a driver's license. So it's an amazing opportunity for them to really get out and travel and see, see how the world is. What's nice with our ships is we do have some triple occupancy cabins. We do have some connecting cabins, and then of course we do have those solos. So depending on the number of people and the configuration, our team, we call our expedition specialists, will be able to help out to make sure we've got the best configuration for you and your family or your group to be able to travel with.
That's perfect. I think I would love to join the Explorer program just to learn how to drive the Zodiac.
Yeah, I asked myself, but because I wasn't traveling with a kid, I was not eligible. So I'll hopefully have to get that sometime in the future.
Right,
But
exactly.
now, when it comes to what we see, what we do on these trips, right? These are true expeditions. So while there are times we have, fixed points or fixed areas that we're going to be exploring, a lot of it is very flexible, where we're going to look at the wildlife, we'll look at the weather, what's happening in the region, and you may wake up in the morning and what we said we were going to do the night before, we're doing something different because of an opportunity. So you do need to be flexible, but we really want to provide you with, that unique snapshot of what's happening in the region. But we are including your excursions. So you're not going to have the need to pay extra to be able to see and do the things that you want within these regions. So whether it's Zodiac rides, it's stand-up paddleboarding, it's kayaking, we're going to kind of create those schedules. And you'll be able to really participate in everything that's involved on the majority of these trips. And we'll have different opportunities to hike, walk, photography, cultural experiences. So it's really amazing opportunity. And all of this is being built and curated by an amazing expedition team. Many of our guides have been with National Geographic Lindblad Expeditions now for 10, 20, even 30 plus years. They are experts. They are, scientists and researchers themselves. So there's so many amazing opportunities. And one of the reasons we have so many repeat guests is because they want to continue to travel with these guides. So they're going to kind of build those experiences off the ship, but they're also going to be the ones that are doing briefings and recaps on board. They'll even share most meals with guests. And depending on when and where you're traveling to, we'll oftentimes have additional National Geographic experts. We'll have visiting scientists. We utilize many trusted local guides. And so it's such an amazing opportunity to kind of travel and learn everything that these destinations have to offer. We also have a certified photo instructor on every single one of our journeys. Their job is to educate guests on how to get the most from their own camera equipment, their smartphones, and we even have photo gear from OM Systems on 8 of the 12 ships that we own that guests can utilize free of charge. So just another aspect of these trips that's included that really provides an amazing experience. And of course, we have an open bridge policy. And so this is pretty much 24 hours a day. You have access to the bridge. You can meet with the captain, the officers, learn about the navigation. But they're also amazing viewing platforms, particularly when we're going through some of those icy regions. And so it's a great place to kind of collaborate, communicate, and continue to get some additional information from those naturalists and guides. As far as food is concerned, this is an area that I think people are often surprised at how well, really how amazing this is. So we are focusing on local cuisine, so trying to get items from the area so that it's not just menus made up of the region, but it's actual flavors and food ingredients coming from that area. It's all going to be, freshly made. Breakfast is typically going to be more of a buffet style with your made to order entrees. And then lunch and dinner typically is going to be your sit down 3 courses. We'll sometimes have special, special menus where it's made up of items that our staff, maybe from their home countries. We'll do barbecues. So we'll do some different options. We do have vegan and vegetarian options available for all meals. And we can really cater to almost any dietary restriction. Just let us know, or let Emma know, and we can kind of work those things out to make sure that we can meet those needs. But it's a really great experience.
Perfect. Awesome.
And then as far as our ships are concerned, we own and operate, I should say, 12 ships. These all range in size from 148 down to 16. And all of these ships are purpose-built for the destination that we're traveling to. So in those polar regions, we're going to have, more hull integrity, better options to get through the ice. On our United States fleet there in kind of that yellow color, those are all going to have shallower drafts, so we can get in to areas within the fjords and the coastlines to get closer, more access to each of those areas. We also charter an additional 10 ships. And so all of these ships are really built for the destinations they're traveling to, but that's what allows us more access to places like the Amazon, the Nile. We go through the interlocks of Scotland. We've recently added some trips into India, Indonesia, as well as European rivers. So there's so many amazing opportunities to kind of continue to travel and explore the world with National Geographic Lindblad Expeditions. And so what I want to share is some information on our core geographies and a couple of destinations specifically within North America. So we kind of frame things in this sense. And when we're looking at North America, we're talking about the region along the Pacific coast from Alaska down to Baja and even into parts of Central America. The 4 ships we operate, they're basically 2 pairs of sister ships. The Venture and Quest are 100 passengers, and the Seabird and Sea Lion are going to be 62. All of these ships are U.S. flag. And so what this will allow us to do, like in Alaska, is we can start and end the trips completely within Southeast Alaska. So this gives you more time and destination. But there's some really unique opportunities with these small ships that allow us to get into areas that the other ships simply cannot. And so when we look at Alaska, with no more than 100 guests, this is going to be a very different perspective of this region.
Alaska is immense. It's got its silence and moments where you can just be out in nature and experience it all.
There it goes, there it goes, there it goes.
You come out to look for one thing, and something surprises you. That was wild. The wilderness with a capital W.
this is just beyond belief. You know, this is the way to get outside.
That's pretty remarkable. I would say that to anyone who has already done Alaska by a big ship, that you probably missed 90% of what there is to see in Alaska. And um, if you have any inkling to do it again, this would be the way to do it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's really great is because of that US flag designation as well, we're the ones that are operating those excursions. So we're able to kind of modify as the trip goes along. And so during most of the year, we're going to be operating these 6 and 8 day itineraries kind of through that Southeast corridor, with this 8 day being our most popular, that also has the opportunity to go into Glacier Bay. And so the experiences are unique, they're different, right? We're not kind of stopping at your Ketchikan's, your Skagways. We're providing that more intimate perspective, and just allowing you the opportunity to really see and do things within the area. Um, for some of those longer or kind of shoulder seasons, we do have some longer voyages that will start, in the Vancouver, Seattle area, including one special trip we actually have special access to go into Haida Gwaii, which is, a really unique and diverse area filled with some amazing cultural experiences. But oftentimes it is kind of called the Galapagos of Canada. So something kind of unique and different that we do have access to when traveling in these regions. So depending on what you're looking for, there's really amazing opportunities with Alaska. And then just shifting focus into Baja California. This is an area where we do a lot with the gray whales. And so we've got different lengths of itinerary from 6 days, even up to 13 days. But this shorter trip actually stays all within Magdalena Bay. So we utilize our smaller ships. And so you get several experiences where you can get on the pingas with the local drivers who have been navigating these regions for many, many years. Experiences where you're in the area that these gray whales are birthing. And so you often have mothers and calves coming directly up to these boats. And you get these unique experiences that you really can't get anywhere, any other time with this amazing species of animal. But we also have some of those trips that will kind of provide that experience, but giving you more options within the Gulf of California, some additional snorkeling and other areas where many people often overlook this region for its beauty, its nature, where we've been really traveling here now for really 45 years at this point. Galapagos, just to kind of wrap up a couple areas, this is our only year-round destination. We have 4 ships operating weekly departures. And the way these work is you're going to have the opportunity for a pre and post night stay included. So your choice of Quito or Guayaquil. And then we've got two voyage lengths of 10 days or 7, 8 days, where you're going to have 4 or 5 nights on board or 7 nights on board. And then all of these can be paired with Peru and Machu Picchu. And then the last region, just to kind of highlight, is those polar trips. So again, we operate 4 ships in the polar regions. A couple of the brand new ships, the Endurance and Resolution, are absolutely state of the art. But what's really great is we've got different lengths of voyages from 8 days all the way up to 25, 26. So depending on where you're traveling in these regions, you're going to have some really amazing opportunities to be able to see and do things that you want to do within these regions. And we're traveling again with no more than 148 guests, so some unique opportunities to really get out and explore the world. So overall, right, there's tons of great opportunities. Our goal is really to provide those amazing experiences. So Emma, do you have any additional questions you think your clients might be interested in knowing?
So I had, I think maybe just one question that popped out when you were going through the slides. I know in the Galapagos we do all snorkeling, and I know that you have to have special permission to scuba dive, but for National Geographic Lindblad Expeditions, you do scuba diving, but what destinations would that be for? Do you know?
So in Galapagos, on one of the voyages, we have the ability to partner with a dive company since you're not allowed to kind of offer the land tours and scuba at the same time. So there's a voyage where you can get a couple of days of diving. Some of the other destinations for scuba will typically be um, in like some of the Indonesia voyages, some French
Okay.
Polynesia. So those would really be the only ones. And anyone that is looking to dive does need to be dive certified. It's not for beginners, but it's usually limited numbers. So if it's something you're looking at on some of those trips, you'll want to get registered and booked as soon as possible to ensure your opportunity to do that.
Gotcha. Okay, great. I think you covered really everything with like food and solo travel. So, if those solo cabins book up and you still have solo travelers interested in a particular destination, are they paying like the double occupancy rate, or do you make exceptions, if it happens to be a somewhat last minute type trip?
Typically if you're booking into a standard double occupancy, you're going to be expected to pay the full rate.
Right,
Occasionally, as we get closer, we may have some deals, but that's something that, you would be able to reach out to me and be able to find out. It usually wouldn't be advertised.
right,
Um, so typically, yes, if you're not booking the solo cabins, you may be needing to pay the double rate. Although, if you can get one of the room shares, typically if you put in for a room share and it does not get filled, um, you will only have to pay your portion. So that is can be an option, but sometimes it's not available. So you just
sure.
have to see based on availability of that trip.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I love the photo lockers that you have because some of the people on my Galapagos trip were schlepping around massive cameras, tons of camera equipment, right? And I can imagine that, especially with the charter flight from mainland Ecuador into Baltra, there's like a luggage restriction, a weight restriction. So not having to deal with all of that would be like a huge lifesaver if you had the ability to rent the camera equipment while you were on board and not have to worry about taking that all with you. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, there's only a few, I think the number of lenses